All right, here we are with the adorable Malu. Don't judge my trash. I'll get it taken out today. Um, so you can't tell because she's so fluffy, but she has a transitional leash off of her nose, but it's still around her neck. I leave it on the neck for a little while, the first few days actually, because a lot of times, and I don't think she'll do it today, it'll probably be around day 3 or 4 when she builds up the confidence to do it, but they'll jump off their bed and they'll run. The best way to catch them is to actually grab the leash and pull them back with that leash. Sometimes if you start a game of catch, the dog thinks it's a fun game, and you're actually teaching the opposite instead of what you're wanting to teach. You're wanting them to learn to be calm, cool, and collected in the home. So we did our free play. She got to go over to the kennel and play with friends and have a good time and get some wiggles out. We did our training walk. It was really short, really not very far at all. We just walked in one of the yards, and then we walked over to here. So now we're on to bed, step 3, and you can see she's so exhausted from what little bit of free play she had and that tiny little walk we went on because it was so mentally exhausting. Malu is pretty nervous about a lot of things when she's walking. The change in the floor, a bucket, a stair, carpet, a rug, pretty much anything. And so we're going to walk past it, girlfriend. Like, it's okay. I'm with you. And so she's just figuring out how to have that trust and how to walk with me and figure out that she's going to be okay. So it's going to be really great for her. So it was exhausting. You can see her. I literally put her on there maybe 3 minutes ago, and she is snoozing pretty good. You can kind of zoom in a little bit. She's awake, not super asleep, but not awake either. Every now and then she'll open her eyes when I say her name. The back half is from her playing in the splash pad. That's why that looks all weird, is because it's still wet from her playing in some of the water. So if you don't have a race cot, go ahead and order one. These race cots are super important for training. It helps give a very defined difference between a good choice and a bad choice. If you don't have one, go ahead and order one. It will save yourself lots of heartache and pain and trouble, so you need one. So purchase a race cot. I don't care where you get it from, Petco, Amazon, wherever. It just needs to be an elevated bed. We use a toddler bed for our dogs because we think it's cuter than having these cots. So it doesn't matter what kind of elevated bed you have, just get an elevated bed. So Malu will be on her bed at all times while in the home unless she's walking with me or she's in her reflection space. In our home, our reflection space is, and we'll go over this a little bit, but it is a crate in our laundry room. Your reflection space should be a confined space. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the crate. I could just shut the door. The window's not tall enough for her to see out of. There's no distractions of other dogs. She'll hear people coming back and forth, but she's not watching them or tracking them. A reflection is a space for them to just chill, to think about all that they learned during their training and to reflect on it and be happy and calm. We just use the crate so we know everyone's safe. No one's chewing on any door frames or anything like that. So this is what our reflection space looks like. So you have free play, which is just playing in the backyard with friends or by herself. Then you have the training walk, which is using those 5 tools that we talked about, and we'll keep going over and walking on a loose leash. You have the bed, which is what we're doing right now, and then we have reflection. So the 4 steps you're going to do at least in that order and at least twice every day. So here we're onto the bed. She's going to stay on this bed for probably an hour this morning. We'll keep it short, just an hour this morning. We'll work up to more. We're going to keep the distractions low right now. We have one kid doing homeschool. I'm going to take out the trash and do some dishes, clean up the kitchen, that sort of thing. So it's going to be very minimal. Throughout the day, we're going to get more exciting, and then tomorrow we'll add more, and we'll add more, until eventually we'll have the kids running and screaming through here, throwing balls, shooting Nerf guns, banging pots and pans. We'll really up it to crazy town, and we want her to learn how she can feel safe and secure on this bed. In order for her to feel this way, she has to be here a lot. So we go for free play, we go for our training walk, and then we're on our bed together. Think of it as if you worked from home, right? You wake up in the morning, you have a little bit of free play, you go on your training walk, and then you sit on your chair and you do your work until lunchtime, and then you get to reflect, and then you get to do free play, then you get to do your training walk, right? So it's the same concept for our fur kids. Sometimes they're on the bed longer, sometimes they're on the bed shorter. It depends on the time of day. But eventually we want her to be able to be on this bed for 5 or 6 hours at a time while we're doing our school or our work from home or whatever that is, so we can gain that ability. It looks different for every person, and we'll go over lifestyle with training as we go throughout. But I just want to show you how awesome this bed is. She's going to probably whine, and she's going to try to get off, and she's going to try to figure out why we like this bed so much. But we're going to do all things happy on here. I will brush her on here. I will pet her on here. We'll feed her on here. We'll bring some water in here for her. She will not have any activities like puzzles or choose toys or regular toys or anything like that. It's just a chill spot. It's her learning how to just watch and absorb the environment and be happy with just hanging out. She doesn't need to be entertained or need to be doing anything or need to be terrified. This will become like a sanctuary for her, a place where when life is crazy, she knows she can be safe here, and she doesn't need to worry when you're gone or when people come over or anything like that. She can just chill here. So we're going to practice this bed, and again, we'll make lots more videos on this, but here is Malu on her bed.